The False Claims Act was enacted in the Civil War era to prosecute contractors who were committing fraud against the government by selling, quote, sawdust rather than gunpowder, or rotting ships deceptively coated with fresh paint. Now, Ms. Jenny, I presume your division, as your division looks to expand the use of the False Claims Act to go after alleged illegal DEI by federal contractors, that you'll still use it for these traditional uses, such as when a contractor obtains a contract by claiming to be qualified in a particular area and then delivering woefully unsatisfactory work products. Now, the False Claims Act is our topic, and deceptively coating things in paint couldn't be a timelier discussion. That type of fraud clearly didn't end with the Civil War. Greenwater Solutions, a company owned by Trump donor John Cafaro, who has a history of malfeasance. He has pled guilty to campaign finance violations and guilty to conspiring to bribe a member of Congress. In fact, a former member of this committee. He received a $1.7 million no-bid contract to install a water filtration system for the reflecting pool. As anyone who's seen the pool in the last week or so knows, this filtration system isn't doing a very good job. Ms. Jenny, it appears that Greenwater Solutions has no business claiming to be equipped to clean pools. Is the Department of Justice investigating this matter as a potential violation of the False Claims Act?
Longstanding department policy and practice preclude me from talking about any ongoing investigations or potential investigations, but I can assure you that we broadly look at a range of potential fraudulent activities. We follow the facts and the law, and we're committed to protecting and safeguarding taxpayer dollars.
Well, I would say that not pursuing this as a potential False Claims Act violation would be look like ridiculous favoritism, since, in fact, the administration is arresting people who touch the remnants of the $14 million paint job that's floating in sheets amidst the algae that Mr. Cafaro's nano bubble technology has failed to quell. And I would note that the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia has not declined to comment on those matters, contrary to your assertion that it is against department policy. I do think, Ms. Jenny, that your office looks like more interested in going after STEM outreach programs than blatant 8-figure corruption like this reflecting pool embarrassment. Ms. Springman and Mr. Stano, I'd like to learn more about how the False Claims Act fits into the larger tapestry of your work to ensure that federal grant making at your agencies remains free of waste, fraud, abuse, and management. What types of investigations are most likely to result in referrals to DOJ under the False Claims Act? And do you use this law in your work on research security?
Go first. The False Claims Act is one of the best tools for us in our OIG for combating fraud. We do use it in research security. We also use it in our small business cases involving the Small Business Innovation Research Program. What we do is we look to see if there's been any funds misused or if there have been any false statements to the agency made in proposals or project reports. As long as those false statements are material, we will then make a referral to DOJ for it to be considered as a False Claims Act case.
Wow, you keep going ahead of me, and that's tough. A lot of the same. You know, we look at the FCA as a critical tool in what we do on a daily basis with our investigations, and we also have other tools in our tool belt as well, but the FCA is critical in going after grant fraud and omissions, as well as ensuring that our research stays with us and not falling into the hands of our adversaries.
What are the other tools that you would use?
So, anytime we have an investigation or somebody comes forward to us, we look at, hey, is this going to be in the criminal realm? So we have criminal statutes available, conspiracy, false statements. Then we have the SCA realm. We also have administrative remedies as well. So we go down the administrative road. So we just look at the case, and depending on what is out there, what fits best for that investigation. My time's expired. I yield back.
Imagine this. It's America's 250th birthday celebration. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, that iconic mirror of history, is supposed to be sparkling like a patriotic postcard, blue as the summer sky, crystal clear, perfect for the cameras, but instead it looks like a giant bowl of pea soup, bright green algae everywhere. What the heck happened? Buckle up, because this story has no-bid contracts, convicted felons, Trump donors, and a pool that went from mission accomplished to Swamp Thing in record time. Here's the setup. In April 2026, the Department of the Interior hands out a $1.7 million no-bid contract to Green Water Solutions, a company controlled by Ohio businessman John Cafaro. The rush? They needed that pool pristine for the 4th of July celebrations. Urgency exemption. No competitive bids. Just slap in some fancy nano bubble filtration tech and call it done. Days later, Trump announces it's finished. The pool gets filled, and boom, it turns greener than Kermit on St. Patrick's Day. Algae Party Central. The nanobubbles apparently decided to throw a rave instead of fighting the bloom. Now, who is John Cafaro? Not exactly Mr. Clean Record. He pleaded guilty in 2002 to conspiring to bribe Congressman James Traficant. He pleaded guilty again in 2010 to campaign finance violations tied to his daughter's run for office. He's donated over $350,000 to Trump's campaigns and committees. His company did water treatment at Trump's Bedminster Golf Club, and he lives less than a mile from Mar-a-Lago. The White House and Interior Department say the White House had zero role in picking the contractor. Cafaro told a local Ohio paper that Trump knew nothing about it. They chose Green Water Solutions for its specialized technology. Fair enough, but when your high-tech fix turns the nation's reflecting pool into an algae farm faster than you can say, False Claims Act, people start asking questions. Enter Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren. In a House hearing, she drops the history lesson. The False Claims Act dates back to the Civil War, when shady contractors sold the Union Army sawdust instead of gunpowder. Lofgren's point? If a contractor certifies they can deliver clean water but delivers a green monster instead and cashes a fat government check, that's exactly what the False Claims Act was built to hammer. She presses the DOJ. Are you investigating this? The DOJ's response is the classic non-answer. They won't confirm or deny. Standard procedure. But Lofgren lands the zinger. While the DOJ chases STEM outreach programs, they're apparently sleeping on potential 8-figure corruption in the nation's backyard. Quick fact check. Lofgren mentioned a $14 million figure tied to the paint job. That was actually a separate Virginia company's contract for the pool floor sealant. Cafaro's piece was the $1.7 million filtration system. Either way, taxpayers are left wondering why their landmark looks like a neglected fish tank. So was this just bad luck and new pond syndrome, or something smellier? Is the DOJ protecting the process or playing favorites? And how does a pool this symbolic go from national pride to national punchline so fast? This isn't just about algae, it's about accountability, cronyism claims, and whether urgency excuses everything. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you're ready to drain the swamp, subscribe for more breakdowns that cut through the green sludge, and hit the bell. Washington stays wild.